Baruch Habayim, good Erev Yontiv, everybody. Let's learn the Kedushas Levi. Please enjoy this video. Stay till the end. And if you enjoy it, please like, share, subscribe. And I always love comments. I often make videos based on the comments received here. I like to engage with the audience here. Let's learn a little bit. Nishalti b'Medinas Lita. Neima nikra Chag Shavuos b'Shem Anseres. So the Heilige Berditchev Rav Levi Yitzchak ben Sorsor Shem Berditchev Schusi Elonim Kol Yisrael Amen said that he asked when he was visiting the country of Lithuania, why is it that in the Talmud, the holiday that is known as Shavuos, the Feast of Weeks, in Scripture, later called in Greek Pentecost, why is it called by the name Atzeres in the Talmud? Atzeres meaning to stop, although it's often translated as a convocation or a solemn assembly. So it means to stop together and assemble it, an assembly. So, excuse me. The question is, why do the rabbis of the Talmud use this name, Atzeres, for Shavuos, when in the Torah, Shavuos is called only Shemini Atzeres, only the 8th day of Tabernacles, known as the 8th day of Solemn Assembly, or the 8th day of stopping, is called Atzeres. V'shavti b'shloishe fanim. So, well, I guess, and I'm sorry, it was that the Lithuanian rabbis asked the Berditchev Rav this question. The Berditchev is in Ukraine. So the Berditchev Rav answered 3 ways. The first way, the simple answer. Every holiday has 2 ways of worshiping God, of worshiping the Creator. So the first way is that there's something special for that holiday. There's a special mitzvah, a special precept, a special commandment related to that particular holiday. So, for example, there's the matzah on Passover, and there's the sukkah and the 4 species on Sukkos, the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, the fasting and the Kippur. V'abeis iser siyas malacha. And the second method of serving God is by observing the prohibition against prohibited forms of labor. However, the holiday of Shavuos, the holiday of Pentecost, is not like this. Rak mitzvah achas only has 1 precept, 1 commandment. The hainu sha'anu netzarim yasiyas hamlocha v'alzeni krashem b'shem atzeres. It's that we stopped doing work, the forbidden forms of labor, and that's why it's called atzeres, which means stopping. The etzarim atzeres. Oifen abeis. The second reason, it's because the second way we can answer this, we see this with our own senses, our sensory perception, with our intelligence. Every holiday has a name because of what happened on the holiday. Because what happens during the holiday, the mitzvahs, the commandments, the precepts of the holiday. And that's how it is for all the holidays. Yom Shavuos. However, the holiday of Shavuos, which means weeks, it's a week of weeks, right? After the Passover, it only has this name because of the commandment counting the weeks, right? Hayom, Tisha V'Arbaim Yom, Shehem Shevcha Shavuos, LaOmer, Rachman Yechzilanu, Voidus Beis HaMikdash, Koyim Meher B'Meinu Masam. Today is 49 days, which are 7 weeks of the Omer. That's the mitzvah. So we have to understand. Why are we calling a holiday on the mitzvah that passed? We finished this mitzvah today, last night. Though technically, we're still in a sense fulfilling it. But that I just counted now could be considered a portion of that mitzvah. But in any event, by tonight, that mitzvah is over. We don't count the 50th day. So why are we calling a holiday based on not on a current commandment, but on a previous commandment, meaning one that was already fulfilled? So the answer is, the festival of Shavuos is to celebrate the end of the completion of this commandment. This commandment took 49 days to complete, so we celebrate it. Right? Because the sages say, give me, when I finish, when I make a siyum, for example, you finish a tractate in the Talmud, as I go to Moed Simcha, it's a tremendous source of joy, and you make big feasts for this. You see people who their whole life, their occupation in life is Torah study. They make a very big suda, very big feast when they finish the tractate of the Talmud, or they finish all the tractates of the Talmud. The truth is, Simcha Mazu, as it says in the book of Proverbs, or the book of Ecclesiastes, what is joy accomplishing? Like for Avram Mitzvah, the commandment left already, it passed already. However, it's a proper custom. Which Pirish Rashi. Rashi explains, Rashi brings the famous medrash that why do we have a holiday of Shmini Atzeres? Because it says it's very difficult for me to part with you. Lama davar doime, it can be compared to Sarecha Chizman as a melech, kol sarei melucha al suda achas achar suda, sharatza melech l'tsoy leveisay, as amal melech kosher lai pridas chila mimeni. You have a prime minister who invites the king with all the other ministers of the kingdom to a feast. And then after that feast, the king wants to leave and go back home. He tells the king, it's very difficult for you to leave from me. Therefore, you have to hold yourself back more from here, or that you shouldn't leave a person from his brother. And that's the law here. That's why it's called the 8th day of stopping, of waiting, of holding back. Because all throughout Sukkot, all throughout the Feast of Tabernacles, many bulls, 70 bulls are offered, and many rams each day, 14 each day times 7. Shmini Atzeres, we make that we should stop, hold back, that the joy should continue. It's the same thing when you finish tractate of the Talmud. And that's also why we make a holiday out of Shavuos, out of Pentecost, the Feast of Weeks. I'll see a mitzvah sphira. It's to celebrate the completion of the mitzvah of counting. Shezicha oisanu habari baruch hu, that the blessed Creator made us worthy, allowed us to perform. And that's why it's called a tzeres, to hold back an extra day to continue this blessing. And now the third explanation, the third idea. Hu alpi divrei Haramban. This is according to Nachmanides. Shapirish al Posik. He explains the scripture. Actually, I learn Tanakh every day, a parak from the Navi and a parak from the Ksuvim. This is the parak that I learned today, the second parak in Shir Shirim. In the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 7, it says, why do you arouse, why do you awaken the love before it is desired? Perish. And how to explain this? When there's some inspiration of a person to have piety, awareness, fear, and love to the blessed Creator. Azai taketh miyad yira lasis lakli. Nachmanides says, don't let that feeling go to waste. Make a container for that inspiration, for that feeling. How do you make a vessel for that inspiration? You do a mitzvah. Right away. You use that inspiration, that enthusiasm to serve God. In a concrete way. For example, you give charity. Yeshiv takef lomad, or you go right away and learn Torah, Kedayma, something like that. Kedushas oiris haba la'adam befesa pisa puhora nishma alam lamala. Because if a person is inspired to have enthusiasm all of a sudden for something holy, that is something that's poured down from heaven. That's called the soul. If anybody saw The Simpsons, where Bart sold his soul, right? Lisa says at the end, there are some theologians who say that you're not born with a soul, you have to earn your soul. And that is an idea that the Kabbalists teach, that the Jewish mystics teach, that we're all born with a spirit, with a life force, with the basic level of the soul, but the higher level of the soul we have to earn. So that's what's called neshama. That's the higher soul, the third level of the soul. There's actually fourth and fifth level. But the soul has to go into a body. So it should have a strong base. So you shouldn't lose it. Like those who understand, they know what we're talking about. The mystics know. This is the meaning of the verse. Why do you arouse? Why do you awaken the love before it's desired? But that word desired, there's an idea that a cheftza is an object, and so a chayfetz means a container, a kli, an object that you have to actualize and objectifies this. The hainu is that inspiration that comes to a human being. It needs right away a vessel, it needs right away a container. That's what it means until it's desired, meaning not until it's desired, until it becomes actualized. And kan l'shoyna. That is pretty much what the Nachmanides said. It's not a direct quote, it's a paraphrase. So the time when we receive the Torah, the giving of the law, We can be sure that the Israelites had a tremendous inspiration. They didn't have any mitzvah. We could be sure they did this mitzvah of making a border. That Moses warned them. Moses told them, don't touch the mountain. So they held themselves back from touching it. This mitzvah they made a container for their inspiration. And that's why the holiday is called, in the language of our sages, Atzeres, to hold back, to have a container, to have something to hold it in. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. And God willing, we'll see you next week back on Facebook. Back on YouTube. Hope, God willing. How do I turn this thing off?